This is Emin. Welcome back to another video. I hope that you guys are all having an awesome day so far. I'm so happy to be back and chatting with you guys. I got some life updates, and first off, I want to start off by saying I hope that you guys had a good last couple of weeks with the holiday season, and I hope that the winter blues are not hitting you too hard. They're kind of hitting me a little bit hard at the moment just because it is so gloomy outside. My hair is wild right now. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it's so gloomy outside, and I just got back from Canada a few weeks ago. We were there for the holiday season, and it was just such a nice time to be with family. Something quite exciting happened. Josh and I got engaged, so it was just a really, really special time, and yeah, it was just a full circle moment for us. So if you guys follow me on Insta, then you probably know the whole story. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it here, but of course it is a big life update, so I wanted to share that with you guys. So it's been a crazy few weeks, really exciting few weeks, and I thought I'd jump on here and share with you guys some insights that I got while I was back in Canada. I was there for 3 weeks, and it's always super interesting to go back home. As someone who has been living away in Berlin, in Germany for almost 6 years. Wild that it's been 6 years, but it's always really interesting to go back and, experience your city, your country from a different perspective. So I wanted to share that insight with you guys. Before we do jump into the reverse culture shocks, I wanted to give a huge shout out to today's partner and sponsor of this video, which is Ostrom. They are a green energy supplier that only purchases 100% renewable energy, and they actually sell their energy at cost. And if you guys have been following the news, or if you currently live in Germany or in Europe, you know that there's a huge energy crisis. So if there is any way to save any money on your energy bills right now, then definitely check it out. And that's why I wanted to give a huge shout out to Ostrom for this, because I think their service is amazing and can definitely help a lot of you guys, especially if you want to lower your costs right now during this crazy time. They are available across Germany, and they do offer their services in English as well as in German, of course. But I know as a fellow expat, it can be really complicated to set up our services in German sometimes. So don't worry if you just speak English, or if you feel more comfortable speaking English, they can definitely help you out. They also have really great plans as well. And when you are making the switch over to their services, it will be a seamless process. Don't worry, you're not going to be left in the dark. Everything is going to go seamless, and they will handle that for you. So if you guys are interested in checking them out and see what your options are in order to lower your energy bills, then make sure to check out the link down below. You can sign up through their website, and also they have an app which is really easy to set up. All you have to do is enter your personal information, and you'll get a tariff, and everything can be done in as little as 5 minutes, which is super awesome. So again, links will be left down below, and I really do hope that you guys check them out. And thank you so much, Ostrom, for partnering with me on this video. Now let's go back and jump into those culture shocks. So of course, when I went back to Toronto, I had to go to all of my favorite restaurants, my favorite bars, had to definitely check those out. But something that I noticed while I was at these places, with my friends, with my family, just chilling, is just how many TVs there are everywhere. I was so shocked by this that I made an effort to pull up my camera and actually film this for you guys, because I had to share it with you, otherwise you wouldn't believe me. Literally, I was at a bar, I think it was a Friday night, maybe like 9 o'clock or something, and there's just TVs everywhere playing sports, playing the news. It's just so consuming, and that's definitely not something that you're gonna find in Germany. I don't ever think I've seen a TV at a bar or even a place that plays sports, unless you're going to a sports bar. But literally, if you go anywhere there's gonna be a TV. And that is just so distracting. I was having a really hard time, honestly, honestly having conversations with people because I would get distracted by the lights of the TV and I wanted to see what was going on even though I wasn't very interested in it. So that always shocks me. I always forget about that concept, and then when I go, I'm like, wow, why? Why do we constantly need to be bombarded with advertisements and sports all of the time? Like, I didn't ask for this. Why am I being subjected to it? So yeah, that is one of the first things that I definitely noticed. Another thing that I noticed that is kind of funny, and I know it was a thing, I've heard other people talk about it, but for me, like, it wasn't very impactful. But I was traveling with our dog Kai. He came to Canada as well, so I would have to go to the bathrooms, let's say at the airport, with him when we landed in Toronto. And what I noticed is there's such a huge gap in the toilet stalls, like a massive gap where like Kai could literally go right through it and people could sneak in if they wanted to. And this is kind of funny because in Germany, there's not a gap that wide in the toilet stalls. I don't know what that's about in Canada. I think it's the same in the US, but why are the gaps so wide? It made it really difficult while I was in the bathroom to hold Kai because he could just sneak out and go to another stall if he wanted to. And yeah, that's one of the first things I noticed when I landed and I used the toilet. And pretty much every public restroom has this massive gap. If you guys know what that's all about, please let me know down below. It is so random, and of course I had to get footage of this as well to share it with you. Another thing that really shocked me this time was just how unhealthy the food was. Okay, I went with, you know, the idea that I'm gonna eat anything I want, okay? I was gonna eat all of the chips that I was missing, all of the chocolate, all of the nice treats that I can't get here. And by the end of it, I didn't want to eat one more unhealthy thing. The food over there just feels so much more heavy. It is obviously way more processed and way more calorie dense, and I definitely felt it. I got to the point where I was like, I cannot eat one more morsel of chocolate. I just cannot do it. I can't eat one more chip, even though I missed it. I was just done. By my fourth day, I was done because everything just felt so much more unhealthy, so much heavier. I tried to enjoy myself as much as possible, but I didn't go so crazy like I thought I was gonna go with the food. And thankfully at my parents' house, I could work out. They have a gym, so that felt really good because otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have felt so sluggish. And to add to this part of feeling sluggish, I barely moved while I was there. Honestly, I was looking at my steps because I was driving everywhere. There's really not a lot of options for you to walk unless you go to a designated park to walk and you make it an activity for the day, because you have to drive everywhere while you're there. At least where my parents live, unless you live in the downtown core, you don't really walk that much. And even if you are downtown, people take cars or they prefer to just take public transportation, even if it's for very small distances. So I found myself feeling very sluggish. I wasn't getting very much steps. And honestly, it's not very enjoyable to walk in the suburbs just because everything looks the same. There's not a lot of interesting things to do. And also it's just so cold that you don't want to walk anywhere. And the distances just feel very, very far. Toronto, at least, I don't know about other Canadian cities, but I know it does apply to a lot of cities, let's say in the US as well, not really set up for pedestrians. And I really missed that while I was there, because in Berlin, I just walk absolutely everywhere. I can walk for an hour, hour and a half. I can get my steps in so easily. I can just see so many awesome things. And over there, I just barely walked. Thankfully, I had Kai and my mom's dog Leo to walk them and get some movement. But you know, that combined with all of the food that I was eating and indulging in, which I don't regret, like I enjoyed it, I just started to feel very bleh, like very, very sluggish by the end of it. So yeah, that is something that definitely took a toll on me this time around. The other thing I definitely noticed was just the overconsumption. I don't know if it was because it was Christmas time and there was a lot of sales and stuff at the shops, but people were buying stuff like crazy and lining up for, honestly, I've seen lineups for an hour to buy things, and people are just buying things that they probably don't need and going into debt to buy things. And that's just really shocking to me, at least now living in Berlin. I don't buy that much stuff unless I really need something. And it's not very common to see the malls really packed or even shops really, really packed and people just overspending. You could definitely tell people overspend a lot. And something that I kept thinking to myself is, where are people wearing this to? Like, sure, you can wear the stuff you buy to go to work or, work out. But anytime I saw people, everyone was just wearing sweatpants or like the Lululemon pants and a big jacket. Like, no one had incredible outfits, really. This is no shade to my people. I love my Canadians. No shade to that at all. It's just things that you notice as you live abroad, and things maybe that you enjoyed while you lived there before, you don't enjoy as much. I think that's just quite normal. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because I know there's a lot of expats or a lot of people thinking about moving here. So these are things that you'll probably experience as well. But yeah, that's gonna be all for today's video. I'm really happy to be back and to chat with you guys. I hope that you're all having a good time. I know January is a really blah month for a lot of us, so hang in there if you are struggling at the moment. We'll get through this together. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support and all of your lovely messages. And again, I'll go ahead and leave a link to Ostrom down below so you can check them out. And I will talk to you all in my next one. Tschüss!